all of this COVID misinformation is coming on the heels of several governors who are banning measures to mitigate the spread of infection, hospitalization, and death. Abbott in Texas, DeSantis in Florida, all these areas across the country that are led by ridiculous charlatan clowns in the governor's offices. And it is good news to hear that several local organizational efforts are being made in municipalities across those states to counteract, to defy the order of banning mask mandates. Reading from The Hill, Florida school board votes to keep mask mandate, defying DeSantis. The Broward County School Board on Tuesday voted 8-1 to retain its mask mandate for students and staff members, defying Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' executive order forcing school districts to make masks optional. The Fort Lauderdale School Board is seeking legal counsel to challenge the executive order, which it claims represents government overreach, according to WPLG. Quote, wearing masks inside schools regardless of vaccine status is required to deal with the changing realities of virus transmission. It is a necessary precaution until children under 12 can receive a COVID-19 vaccination, and more Americans 12 and older get vaccinated, which came from Anna Fusco, president of the Broward Teachers Union. It's not just Florida, though. In Texas, again, there are measures in place to defy the governor's anti-health mandates. This is from KSAT, the San Antonio affiliate. Judge delivers blow to Texas Governor Abbott's ban on mandates, allows San Antonio to require masks in schools. Temporary restraining order allows San Antonio Bexar County to impose mask mandates. San Antonio leaders scored a victory in court against Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Tuesday in the ongoing fight over mask mandates. A Bexar County Civil District Court judge granted the city of Bexar County's request for temporary restraining order against Abbott's executive order banning mask mandates in school. Again, other than fueling the culture war, what is the impetus here? What is the goal? What is the objective in banning, in creating a system where local municipalities, listen, Republicans always say this, local authorities know better than the federal government. They know what's best for them. Well, why is that not the case for a local city to impose a mask mandate for their community, their local community? Who is Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas? Who is he to know more about what's best for that local community, using Republican logic, than the community itself? Instead, they are prohibiting local municipalities to create more stringent rules surrounding protecting the health and welfare of their residents. Effectively, the ruling allows Bexar County and San Antonio officials to issue a mask mandate in public schools and other guidance like quarantine protocol. For now, officials say they plan to have an order issued by the end of Tuesday. No details have been released yet on the guidance, but officials will hold a live press conference at 6:10 p.m. The order was granted after an hour-long hearing by the 57th Civil District Court with Judge Tony Ortiaga. Ortiaga said an affidavit from Metro Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jendo Wu weighed heavily in her decision, as did the vulnerability of children who were returning to school amid a surge in coronavirus cases. That sentence bears repeating. Weighed heavily on her decision was the vulnerability of children who are returning to school amid a surge in coronavirus cases. And this is what is perplexing. It is baffling to me because although Republican, they're still human beings. Ostensibly, they possess some level of empathy, unless they suffer from sociopathy. Why don't they care about the surging cases of coronavirus all across their states? This is from Louisiana, reading from The Insider. A New Orleans children's hospital doctor says reopening schools without masks is a formula for disaster as COVID-19 rages in Louisiana. This isn't just salacious use of words in these headlines. The pandemic is raging. A year and a half in, it is raging in these areas. Louisiana has finally seen an uptick in vaccinations, in the vaccination rates of its citizens, because of the fact that people look around and they know they have family members who are dying. They have family members, maybe multiple, who are hospitalized. They're witnessing children now get sick. Reopening schools loaded with unvaccinated children and no mask requirements in place is a formula for disaster, the physician-in-chief of the Children's Hospital New Orleans said. I think bringing together large numbers of children, congregating them in classrooms with masks being optional, or worse yet even, forbidden, is just a formula for disaster, Dr. Mark Klein said in an interview with CNN. It couldn't be more plainly stated. Republicans have turned the culture war, the war on Christmas and what color coffee cup Starbucks has, these nonsense arguments, they have turned it into something that is deadly. It's one thing if you want to whine about the national anthem and someone silently kneeling in protest, and you want to turn that into a culture war. It's another thing entirely when you endanger the lives of children, innocent babies, who have no other choice but to be protected. They cannot do it themselves. We're not horses or goats or cows that get squirted out and immediately are on our feet walking around, eating grass. That's not how it works with human beings. I'm sad to say, Republicans, we need nurturing and protection for a great deal of time before we're capable of doing it ourselves. And Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis are getting in the way of that. They're making a choice to force municipalities into a situation where they're either violating the law or making sure their kids are safe. Unconscionable.